Yeah. As far as the rest of it goes, I guess I came in here because I wanted to see if you guys had any particular questions. Boone and Brian had reached out to me separately with some inquiries about stuff that I'm looking into. I believe both of you mentioned to me some stuff involving stuff that's at the Loud and Loud towing. I'm looking into those myself. I actually, Dan, you might have seen last night, there was an email exchange between myself and the sheriff and everything, just about how to deal with some of the stuff that was either on the lot or was taken off, and there's an outstanding bill. I'm looking into ways of getting them compensated for that. It may not be something that I can charge a person with a crime in order to get that to happen, simply because it's been a while since it happened, and the statute of limitations might have run out on those. But to the extent that they have any remedies available to them, I'm certainly happy to help them get them. So that's sort of where we are on, I think it was a porta potty, and then there's a motorcycle involved in a different case. That's a bit of a touchy scenario, so I need to actually talk to the BCI agents about that before we go forward with anything. So just wanted to let you know on that.
So it's being taken care of. Right?
Yeah, I would say those are being taken care of for sure. And then as far as other stuff goes, if you guys have individual questions for me, I'm happy to take them. I meant to come here the past couple of months, but I was sick with COVID last month, so.
Good month to stay away.
I'm not trying to, I swear. But yeah, no, so I don't have anything in particular to update you with apart from that, but I wanted to be available here in case you guys had specific questions for me, since both of you guys have reached out to me in case the rest of you also had questions for me.
As long as you're both in a room, Chris and you both, and that doesn't happen a lot of times, we bring this up occasionally. Is there stuff that you've collected over the years that is just sitting there that we could get rid of via an auction, or wouldn't that pay?
That's a question.
And if it is, that's just revenue for us. I got to justify my salary somehow.
I will say I've talked to Dan about some of the furniture in my office because I don't need a lot of it. I think there's 3 desks in there. I would only need 2 in case we need another person to come in there and do temporary work. So that I think I talked to you about a while back. That just kind of got lost in the shuffle. As far as stuff that I need, obviously the drawers and stuff in my office are pretty much all that I can think of.
But I'm talking about like confiscated stuff.
He's talking about the sheriff's sale.
That is a Chris question. I mean, I'm happy to help you. And
there's probably some things I would have to talk to Oliver about how long we have to keep some of the things.
That would be my question while you're both here, because there's some stuff you got to keep, right?
Right.
But if it's just sitting there and it has some value,
there is a schedule for evidence to be destroyed. I'm not sure exactly what the individual items are that we should hold on to over time.
I think the only thing that would be worth money would be the guns that we have.
Yeah.
These guns were probably from maybe Lawson days,
okay,
or pellet days.
Gotcha.
Some of them are from my days. Those probably can't go anywhere yet. But.
Given the nature of them, I'd want to take a look at the list and make sure everything's on the up and up before we sell it.
well, right, you'd have to do that. Yeah.
No, but I'm happy to help you guys.
Okay, well, that's a homework project you guys can have.
Sure.
Chris will work with you on that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Chris, you might as well come up here too.
Yes, sir.
Oliver, are you comfortable with the way things are going? Are you totally overwhelmed? Where are you at?
Definitely not overwhelmed. The nice thing about this position is that every one of you has been incredibly helpful and open and communicative with me, which is what I asked for when I took the position. Just feel free to talk to me and talk through problems, and all of you have been really great about that. So I am 100% comfortable with the workload and the support system I got here, and especially with Sheriff Cluth. I think that he runs a pretty good office and has good deputies, and they've all been extremely helpful with me. One thing I do want to bring up, well, actually I'll bring it up separately, just related to the Bowden thing with the bar. Do you want to go into that or no? It's probably not
Pretty open, so.
Oh, it's open, okay. Yeah, we'll wait until it closes up to talk about that. That's fine.
Anything else?
Not off the top of my head until you guys have resolved. I have one thing I want to bring up, but just after you talk with me and Chris about whatever you want to bring up.
Sure.
I just, Brent separately went and reached out to the Highway Patrol about County Road 71. Well, I think they were here 4 days ago, and they were patrolling 5, and I called them, I'm like, you're on the wrong highway. And down south of Bowden where you're supposed to be, oh, I thought we were supposed to be here. So they were stopping trucks by Brennan and up there. And I'm like, no, they wanted to be down on 71, but his boss had called and I spoke to him and they said they wanted a letter from you guys.
Oh, they told us they wanted a letter from you.
No, that's what Brent said. Because he called me and said, you should write him a letter, and so I called the guy and he's like, no, I need it from your commissioners.
Wow, well, that's easy to do. The sergeant said he needed permission from the sheriff's office.
Oh, they have permission to be here whenever they want. I work with them very
Well, I
well.
would have thought
I
that
don't,
too.
Yeah, don't they have jurisdiction?
they have
can do what
statewide
they-
jurisdiction.
Yeah.
I think they need you to ask them specifically to do weight enforcement on County Road 71. And
Well-
I asked if there was any charges for them to come and do this specially, and there isn't. So,
Right. No, they thought they'd do all of our county.
Right.
oh yeah, that's perfect. That's great.
Yeah,
But you guys need to write the letter.
okay.
I'm curious, in that they have statewide jurisdiction, why do they need our permission to do that? Shouldn't they just do it on their own?
I think they just need the request so that they can send them.
I was involved with
people.
Brett and called patrolman and he pretty much said that. They'll come in if there's a request. Otherwise they.
And I'm thinking some counties do this on their own and don't need the support.
And
Maybe that's the case.
some counties
Yes.
don't want them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, some sheriffs probably don't say, just, we'll do it.
Right.
Yeah,
So anyway.
I don't have a truck weight enforcement
Right.
equipment.
Well, you know, here's the thing, with our 6 county meetings, we were in discussion
I
of
know.
us 6 counties trying to get somebody, well, the cost of that for what we get just was not
I
feasible.
don't think you would, yeah.
Right.
Because every once in a while you'd get an overload that you get a good chunk of money, but that's every once in a while.
Yeah,
Other than that, you'd be paying
yeah.
the equipment and training to go and learn about.
Well, we just weren't aware of it. We knew the state had people, we were just wondering where they are. Well, we didn't know what we had to request, so this is easy.
So anyway, I think that's a great deal.
I'm in the same boat, so I didn't know that you guys had to request that either. I just
Yeah.
wanted to know.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, where are the trucks and stuff that's seized held in the interim period while somebody's being cited? Is it, I mean, is there a place that they're taken to, or are they just immediately
The
released?
HPs?
Yeah,
No, the truck sits there,
okay.
and sometimes they make them dump, if it's like overloaded gravel,
Mhm.
they'll make them dump the overloaded gravel on the gravel road. They'll do things like that.
Okay, I just want to make sure it's not going to cost the county anything if they.
No, the grain, I don't know, they'd have to get another truck to come and,
Well, they just use the scales right out there.
yeah, oh yeah, the truck.
They'll use their portable scale.
You hear the horror stories that a couple of years ago in the eastern part of the state, if you were overloaded with a truck, you had to unload it where it sat before you
Oh, yeah.
could take it
Yep.
to the elevator and dump it.
Yeah, they have to get a grain vac or, an auger underneath and go into the next truck.
That's why some counties don't want them.
That's pretty drastic, that.
I mean, you think about that when doing it to the local farmers, and you're gonna catch some of them doing it too.
Well, but here's the thing, you know what? Who pays the majority of our taxes here? Our farmers. We don't wanna, like, we're out to get you type thing either.
Just to keep them honest.
Right, we are trying to protect
Well,
roads.
Trying to just protect the roads and keep them.
And Oliver, I don't know if you know, the fines levied on any county road by a regulatory goes to the county.
Yes,
So,
yeah, I wanted to make sure that
not
they could be
that we're in
offset by
it to make
some
money,
I don't,
but.
I think
crazy
it's a
seizure.
seizure.
Okay, good.
Well,
Or
I
is
think
it a
the word
split?
got spread though that there was somebody on file.
I think that it might be
The
a
word got
split.
spread out, I think people know.
And that's the argument of us against hiring somebody separate, because the word goes on, that'll settle things down for a while.
Right.
But I have a phone number to the trooper that Brent was talking to. I didn't get his name.
Yeah, just text it to me or something.
I'll
Dan.
text it to you. So that you can, get an address. I'm sure it's just Bismarck region.
I think that's where we had it,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I think there was.
I can text you an address to the Bismarck
Okay.
HP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did they give you a report how it went at all?
They stopped a bunch of people that day. I didn't know if there was any tickets, I don't know if they got any like overloaded, but I think they were writing
So yesterday, the
equipment tickets and
the
stuff.
load restrictions went on yesterday, so.
Yeah.
What else, what other good news have you got for us, Chris?
Well, we're busy. Good news as far as the car is gonna be taken soon. They finally are coming to get it. We're selling the Tahoe to them,
Yep.
so we can get a lower price on some of the equipment being put in the car. And the radio out of the Tahoe will be reused and put into the car, and things that are newer will be reused and put into the car.
So Chris managed a deal to trade that thing in or sell to him in trade for getting the equipment for him. Probably not as much money out of it what you thought or we thought, but stuff like that's not worth much anymore.
I don't think, I mean, it's taken a beating on snowbanks and that old Tahoe. The front end is kind of mucked up. I think at one time there was duct tape holding the thing up. We got $1,500 out of it.
So where does this have to go to get done to the car?
It's in Minnesota.
Okay.
I can't think of the town right now, I'm sorry. Guardian Fleet is the company.
You say they come up and get it?
They come up, they grab it, and they'll probably bring 2 people, they'll leave their car, they'll take both
Oh, cool.
vehicles.
So that's kind of in the next month, hopefully? or-
Hopefully, they didn't schedule a date, but now they've reached out and said, okay, they're busy. I think they started as a small company and they've gone from probably the size of the county shop working on vehicles to a building that fills up a city block or more. I mean, they're a busy outfit. It's probably one of the best places in the north to get your squads work done. So you don't have the electrical issues and things that you can get from putting in a radio and putting in the lights, and you have battery drainage, and there's a bunch of things that go with installing all this police equipment in cars. So you want it done right. Otherwise you're fighting it. So that's why I'm really trying to go with this company, because since I switched there in, what was it, 2020, because before that we were going with places around here, and I have issues with those cars electrically. So since 2020, those squad cars, they wire it right.
Sounds good.
And they do a clean job. That's like, I don't know if any of you are anal about things, but I am. And so the wiring is nice. You don't just see it all in a rat's nest. It's all in a
It's all in
tube.
ties, it's all in ties.
Yes. That way when it comes to take out that equipment and sell it, then you don't have the mess either. It just comes out as one.
Sounds good.
But yeah, other than that, Oliver's been busy.
Don't overplay it, but yes.
He has been very busy.
Keep them
Because
busy.
you guys are overworking them?
Now,
He's not only us, it's Harvey PD, it's the whole law enforcement is,
the last couple of weekends was what, the animal abuse case?
it's been,
Sheridan Animal Hospital, another thing with Sheridan Animal Hospital just wild yesterday, and it's just, but
mind-blowing.
again, it's good that we have, these problems are able to be worked on, that's all I'm
Well,
saying.
what's good about this is the public is hearing stuff being done.
I hope so.
That's great.
Yes.
Yep, that's true. And there are some cases from last year that we're still working on that could get filed too, so.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about putting a sheriff's report in the paper, just get more? out there?
Absolutely, I have.
Wanna do
That would be
or?
not a terrible idea. As in, like, the way that it works in some of the other counties that I've done is the state attorney and the sheriff collaborate on releasing press reports, just so that the public is generally aware, hey.
You know, I think that'd be a great idea.
I was trying to do that with Kathleen too, but it never got there. And I've been trying,
think you
yes,
can-
I
I
pushed for
think you
that.
guys should do
Didn't
that.
Ann Heaney though occasionally do that?
She
Years
reports
back?
on
But the point
cases that
is,
are open.
you can't just put stuff in without make sure it's
Well,
That's
that's
the
why
thing.
I never did it solely, because Kathleen wanted it to go through her.
Yeah,
Before, even media releases, she wanted to do that all. And I understand, because if you release too much information, you
Right.
could hurt the case.
right.
So that's why you work together to do it.
That's
I'm
why
on
if you
board.
guys put something in together, I think that would be that'd be really good for the community.
I trialed it with Chief Flossett and Harvey just to make sure it would be okay, and it's been working so far, so I think that that's definitely a good idea.
Yeah, and the reports that he's putting in, they're going over really well.
Yeah. I feel bad that it has to end up in the paper, but the public has a right to know.
Opens up some people's eyes, that's for sure.
But you know, I think that helps deter things though when you put that in there,
I would hope so,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
yeah. Speaking of deterrence, the waterboard issue, I just wanted to let you know, I'm still waiting on them to resolve everything on the civil side before I consider doing any kind of criminal charges. That was just sort of a handshake agreement I had with the
Talking
attorney.
about out east there?
Yeah. So the attorney that they have, Alex, whatever his last name, Misteller from Minnesota, is still working on the civil stuff. And once that gets kind of wrapped up, I'll take a look at it a little bit more closely. But I just wanted to not get in their way while
They're coming in here later, I don't know if you're gonna.
I'm not going to be able to. I have to go to New Rockford for a hearing.
Okay.
So
But,
I wish I could say. But,
no, they'll probably give you what they got anyway later.
yeah. No, I've been keeping in good contact with them, which is good. So.
Chris, you got anything else?
I don't. I'm sure Brent is here.
No, yeah.
No, not yet.
He'll take up your next hour.
Yeah, please, no.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate what you guys are doing.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank
Oh,
you.
there might be one other thing, but it's more for Dan. I reached out to Border Patrol about that time for Dave, when we were discussing the snow day. They want you to pay him that 8 hours. Even though
Okay,
they-
then I would respectfully request that he submit a revised timesheet then.
Okay,
And-
okay,
And if that's the case, at the end of March, I would do that.
all right.
So,
That's all I need.
Hey, one other thing, and Oliver brought it up, that motorcycle that's being stored. Do we have a place here where we can store stuff like that?
We do, sometimes we keep it at the county shop or out at the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
That was just this is a more sensitive case because of everything surrounding it. It could be, I can't.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the agents involved if moving it would cause issues to the case such that it has to stay where it is. My feeling is that it might be able to be moved, and if it can, it probably should, but I want to get Craig's opinion on it before I move forward with that.
And I think that's good because basically wherever we got it, they could charge us a lot of storage.
If it could be put in a field or in a shed or something, not in a field, in a shed or something like that, ideally a locked shed.
Does it run if you go in the garage?
Yeah, it's not that.
This, you sure this is the same motorcycle? It's got
It
a few
got-
extra miles on it.
It got wrecked.
Oh, okay.
It's not pretty anymore. But it wasn't.
You don't want it anymore now, do you?
Yes, not.
Otherwise it'd be in my garage.
All right,
That's all I
thanks,
got.
guys.
Thanks.
Before I guess Brent starts coming in and talking, I wanted to bring something up. Nelson County is potentially interested in having me do prosecution services for them because their state attorney, Jamie Tennyson, resigned. They had a guy who they were previously going to hire, Jack Yunker, but they're not sure if they're going to go forward with him. And given my position relative to where Lakota is, they had some interest in me taking over for those duties in the interim. I don't have any interest in the state's attorney position up there when it comes up to the election in 2026, but I told them, the commission basically, that I had talked with you guys previously about doing part-time work for other counties in this type, not as a group, but I had talked to most of you individually about it, I think. And I wanted to put it on the table because if it is something that they ask me to do, it would be subject to a motion by you guys to approve it. It wouldn't be a joint powers agreement or anything. It would just be, yes, Oliver can work over in, Nelson County. So that's my question to you guys, whether you would be comfortable with that.
Let me get this, is it just to help out at times or to do all of this stuff?
It's considered a part-time state's attorney position. Generally, the duties involve the water board there and then the sheriff's department related crimes.
I know years ago reciprocated a lot with, or Kathleen did, but this would be different.
Yes, it wouldn't be, I actually would be working, as far as I know, with Kathleen in her role as an assistant attorney general for a couple of cases. But the caseload in Nelson County is not as high as it is here. The number of hours that they expect is not as high. The Sheriff's Department has a few different priorities there as opposed to here. But they were mostly interested in it because I had some experience with the waterboard here and none of the other attorneys that provide work.
My question is, as long as it doesn't hinder you from getting your work done here.
No, I wouldn't, unless you guys feel like that would be the case, which I'm not trying to say it would.
Oh, no, that's for you to tell
Would you
us.
do this until they found someone else, or you would do it on a full part-time basis
It
going
wouldn't
forward?
be, I don't have a plan to run, so I would, because basically I don't live there. So
Oh, right.
I would be basically, part of it would be me looking for, frankly, UND law graduates to move to Lakota and then run for it, because I have no interest in running for it, but
I can't imagine their shelves are stocked with more attorneys than we have.
I would tend to agree with that. The one that they just had is, he's moving down
And
to
he was
California.
serving 2 counties and farming at the same time.
Now
so-
he's serving one county and farming, and frankly, I can kind of get it, but sometimes it makes you want to be a farmer. And then you have to come up here, and then I realize, oh wait, no, being a farmer's probably much worse.
So I don't know, my personal feeling is fine, but do we need a motion on it or anything, or?
You actually do need to motion it because
We
it
do?
has to be approved by the county commissioners.
What's the, time frame that
Well,
usually
Ongoing?
When do they have their election?
the same year as, well, yeah, it's
Oh, it'd
2026.
be,
oh,
right.
just
I'll
through
make,
this
I'll
next
make a
year,
motion that we allow Oliver to do part-time work in
Wilson County.
Nelson County.
Nelson County, right,
Yeah.
okay. You second?
Yep.
Motion made by Stan, second by Brian Lount, to allow Oliver to do part-time work in Nelson County. Any other discussion on it?
To be reviewed annually. Add that on. I mean, we should look at this because, and I'm sure if you get into a situation where the workload of either place is too overwhelming, then I guess we'd appreciate it for you to come to us.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
But
that's a given.
this
Yeah.
county takes precedence because this is where I bought the property, and this is where I'm sticking around.
Right.
So,
And the other thing, if it doesn't work out so well and you want a way out, you can use us for the.
No, I wouldn't put you guys in that position. Oh, speaking of that, I actually do not have any updates on the rural attorney recruitment program thing that I told you. Oh, sorry. I'll let you guys finish up the motion. It was moved.
Okay, any other discussion on it? Hearing no other discussion, all of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Go for it.
Thank you. The rural attorney recruitment program thing, I completely forgot to mention that. I am basically waiting for the Supreme Court to make a decision on this. Their whole issue is that they didn't, how do I put this? They're not huge they don't like the idea of elected state attorneys being able to use this government program to get additional funding. And I'm bothered by that because I explicitly told them in my letter that my purpose was to reinvest the funds that they gave me into Wells County because I'm trying to rehabilitate that building on Main Street in Harvey. So I'm basically waiting for them to make a decision on this. For what it's worth, the selection committee that forwards applications to them strongly, agreed that Wells County and I should be able to make this agreement. It's basically just up to the Supreme Court at this point. Everyone who is a stakeholder apart from them thinks that it's a good idea. But if they disagree, then, oh well.
Yeah,
So
we tried.
hopefully.
Crazy world we're in.
The other thing is, if I end up working with Nelson, even if I'm just in Wells here, UND Law has a program that allows, it's a grant-funded program, so it wouldn't be at any cost to the county, of basically hiring out a first-year law student in their, who's finished up their first year, not my wife, but somebody who's finished their first year of law school to basically just do legal assistant work that's paid for by a grant as opposed to paid for by a county. If you guys are interested, I was going to
Cool.
request.
That would be helpful for you, wouldn't it?
It would be helpful, but yeah, I just wanted to run it by you so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be of any cost to the county. It's all just funded by private grants and everything. So.
Excellent.
Any other questions? Any other way I can save the county money? And, not a
No,
miracle
but-
worker, but I'll do it.
We appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah, sure. So,
Okay, if nobody has anything else for Oliver, we got, yeah, we got Wade and Larry here. You guys want to come up?
Thank you, guys.
Oh, but that's all right. You'll be the first, won't be the last.
Whoa, guys.
Reading material?
Yeah, well,
Morning, sir. Morning, sir. Oh, you're fine.
good morning. Thank you for inviting us to talk about this. I'll start off by saying I went to the meeting yesterday and going, hey, let's get the fair going. After seeing the nice work that these guys have done, I'm getting that done. So, and no rain, guaranteed no rain.
Guaranteed no rain.
I think it looks really nice, so we really appreciate that.
Hey, you know what? I agree with that. I walked in that yesterday. It was nice and dry there.
Could have walked over to the hall in your socks yesterday.
That's great, yeah.
So I think we appreciate that. We appreciate your support.
Cool.
So I did mine a little bit different than the previous one did. I'm just going to lay out what I have for money and kind of lay it out, and then you can ask questions. So if you take a look at this, our current checking account is $69,336.40. And so those three funds are part of that, and Larry's going to talk about those when we get to that. And so basically we have $29,842 of working capital right now, and that will take care of all the getting ready for the fair. We have to give people, we have to give down deposits for some of these concerts and some of our events, so that's pretty much our working capital for the fair. That's what we have. Okay? So 15 years ago we took out a construction loan, and I didn't realize until I went in to pay it this year that it's a 15-year loan that after 5 years ago. Took out a 15-year loan, and I didn't realize it until yes, re-upped, and so we had interest rate was changed a little bit. So I'm just going to explain this to you so you know about this. So right now we have $5,823.74 in the construction loan, and the construction loan due date would be in 10 years. We actually paid this year, so it'd be 9. That's how much is left. It's $115,644.03. So what we did a year ago is that we had some extra money, so we put it in a CD because the rates were pretty good, and we put $100,000 in a CD, and now it's at $103,000. So here's and Brian's been a part of these discussions too. So do we take the $103,000 and the $5,000 and pay off the loan, or do we keep that money because we all know that down the road we're going to need a grandstand? So those are discussions that we're having, and if you have any questions about that, you can ask at the end. But I just want you to be aware of that's what we're doing.
What's the current rate on your CD? Start with a 5?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got a very thin margin of difference between what you're paying and what you're earning, so.
What's your annual payment on that?
I got it down there. It's $13,500.
Oh, okay.
$13,500 is what we pay.
Yeah, okay.
Any other questions on that? I just wanted to be open about that and show that that's what we have. And like I said, Brian comes to our meetings and he knows we've been discussing this, and everybody's got different opinions.
Really?
Yeah.
So that makes for good discussion.
Yep.
That's a
But,
good thing.
you know, yesterday, and you guys heard this too, there's a possibility of fairs getting like $300,000. This would probably be excellent for you guys to jump on.
And he'll talk more about the grandstand, but it's like something that's got to be done, and so, anyway. Okay, so the second thing I decided to do this time, everybody says, well, what does it cost to put on a fair? So I'm going to show you our Wells County Fair recap. So the first page shows what we brought in for income. Of course, our biggest event has always been and always will be the Bolorama. That's always been our biggest event. It always will be. I'm not sure. We've had this discussion for years why we can't attract people from music, but we never have been able to. So, and then this year we had some rain that we lost a couple events. So that's our income. And then the fair board meal, that's what we think. Again, thank you guys for helping with that. That's what we made after expenses. Fair sponsorship is what we get from companies, and then the past income and the Catholic Church, and then there's other things. I have to throw in the low haircut because we made $1,000 by Mr. Lowe doing a haircut.